Many of you are afraid of something you know nothing about. So before you let that fear control your life, because it could already be doing so, I suggest you stick around for a little bit of tea that can help you spiritually. And we're going to see. All right? Let's get into it. I can see the truth, transparent. I can see my truth, just so you know. What's up, free spirits? Welcome back to my channel. This is Spirituality, and I'm your host, Bella. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight is a very spiritual episode, as we'll be talking about spirits. And before you click that exit button, because a lot of you are scaredy cats, I suggest that you stick around a little bit, learn something, so that you're not afraid of something that you know nothing about, because fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real, and it holds so many of us back from accomplishing great things, the things that we came here to do. So before that happens to you, boo-boo, or before we let it continue, I'm going to tell you what it is. And in my intro, I called you guys free spirits, so you shouldn't be too spooked out by that terminology, but many people let their fear of ghosts and things of that nature repel them from knowledge that they should be having and seeking. So before you do that, like if you getting a little bit, worried about a spirit leaping through the fucking camera and possessing you just because I'm talking about it, y'all be on one. Like before your mind takes you there, let me take you here. I wore my little skull ring too, just to show y'all that skulls and death is not scary. Spirits are not scary. Okay, so what is a spirit? A spirit is an energy. You are also an energy. Everything is. But let's just start with you and spirits. You're an energy. You're a spirit. However, you have a third dimensional body to utilize in this third dimensional realm in order to enjoy it. If you are a spirit without a body, you cannot see, hear, touch, taste, or smell in that sense. Now, when you are a spirit, you are all-knowing. So a spirit doesn't need to hear your thoughts in order to overtake you. It just needs your vibration to be low enough to vibrate on the same frequency as it, and for it to affect you in ways that the good Lord didn't, manifest you on this earth to experience. So with that being said, a spirit is an energy, right? The spirit of rejection is able to latch on at birth because, well, not birth. If you were raised in an environment where you felt rejected by your parents, let's say you were adopted, let's say you had several siblings and your parent just wasn't capable of giving you all as much attention and affection as you needed, and let's say maybe you were born into a family where you were interested in things that nobody else was interested in and they rejected your ideas, that's where the spirit of rejection will start to vibrate with your energy, and it'll follow you around, because like attracts like. You're attracting rejection is essentially what it is. It's not just really following you around. You've been programmed to attract rejection because you were rejected as a child, right? It's really sad and it's unfortunate, but it happens to many of us, especially celebrities. This is why many celebrities want to become celebrities in the first place, is because they are used to being rejected and they want to be accepted on a grand scale to make up for all that rejection, because the wounds run deep. However, many of them do not do many of them do not do the work that is necessary to heal those wounds. And so even with all their money and all their recognition and their fame and things like that, they're still not happy. They still feel empty. And no matter how much praise and attention and followers and money they get, they still feel empty because their spirit is unfulfilled, because the rejection that they suffered is attracting more rejection, which is preventing them from being who they're meant to be and from having what they're meant to have. And that, by they, I mean you, us, me, we, humanity. So, so when you're rejected at home by either your parents, your siblings, what have you, somebody in the home base is causing you to feel rejected. When that happens, or you can go to school and be rejected, because it's up until like 7 years old. So you can go to school and kids can make you feel rejected as well. So it's not always just in the household. By the way, once this rejection wound happens, it will cause you to vibrate on a frequency where you just feel like everything and everybody is going to reject you. You're projecting that reality that you are going to be rejected simply because that's what you've come to know in your youth. And then once your brain is formed, once you've been programmed, you're programmed until you reprogram yourself, of course. But then you have to know how to do that. And the powers that be know how to program you. This is how they have so many like consumers in this world. But you don't seek the knowledge to learn how to program yourself, but it's out there, and you'll get a little bit of tea on my channel if you stick around, of course. So lucky for you, you're doing that. Smart. It's a really good step. Because like I said, whether you believe in it or not, it's going to affect you. What it does is it creates strongholds within your energy fields. A stronghold is simply, like I said, a belief pattern. You've been rejected so much that you just believe that everybody's going to reject you. You're going to be rejected for everything. I don't want to apply for that job because I'm going to be rejected. Why would why would they want to hang out with me? Nobody ever wants to hang out with me. They're going to reject me. And that belief it has to be manifested in reality. And so it is. As above, so below. Above is mental. Below is what you see, the earth, what is manifested out of earth, which is man and man's creations. So, yeah, spirit of rejection is a nasty little bitch. Because it could have you not even trying to do things that you could be great at, that you were probably gifted in by the Lord. The Lord gave you a gift and you are sitting on it, you're squandering it because you're afraid of rejection. Now that's not smart. You're letting it stop you before you even try. Like, you're not even doing it and getting rejected. You're prophesizing rejection. So, anyways, what God accepts, no man can reject. And rejection is just God's protection. Like, God is not going to hold back an opportunity that's meant for you. So, rejection is your protection. Whether you're on your real path or if you're on somewhere near it, God don't want you to stray too far from it. Eventually, He hopes you'll get on it. So, He's going to help you do that. But anyways, so strongholds are beliefs. And beliefs are what causes... Okay, I was going to say... I was trying to like get all the way up in there. I was getting up in there. But... okay. Strongholds cause... strongholds result in beliefs. Belief patterns of what's possible for you in your life. And your life can only transpire the way that you believe that it can. And also, the spirit of rejection is strong. It's a mental thing. You have to stop telling yourself that you are going to be rejected. And also letting yourself know and reminding yourself that when you are rejected, it's because God has something better for you. And maybe that wasn't going to be so good for you, you know? So... I don't take rejection personally anymore. I just like, okay, so I manifest something better by speaking it into existence. I speak what I seek till I see what I say. And I'm just like, I'm going to find something better. And I go on about my business. And that's what you should do. Like, a lot of you internalize it and you wonder what's wrong with you and why somebody's rejecting you, and you think that it's something that you've done or didn't do, and it's never about you per se. It's never about what you've done or didn't do to a person to deserve to be rejected. It's ask yourself more so, what can I learn from this? You know, and when you think about it, sometimes you'll learn like that nigga wasn't shit, and I shouldn't have wanted him anyways. It was just lust, and you right, spirit. I didn't need that nigga. Like it could be something as simple as that, or it could be a job that it has hours that you fucking hate. You're not even a night person, but it's an overnight shift, but they pay you buku money, so you're gonna take it anyways. No, no, not for money. That's selling your soul for money. You're putting yourself through something that you don't want to do for money. So, anyways, all that to say, where was I going with that? Strongholds create emotional reactions when somebody triggers us. If you have a spirit of rejection attached to you, when somebody rejects you, it makes you depressed probably. It makes you angry. Sometimes you can react that way. It makes you feel hopeless or worthless, isolated, alone, misunderstood. Yeah, like nobody understands you, nobody wants you around. And I didn't even get into the tea where they actually consider rejection emotional violence. That's how severely traumatic it is for your energetic body, for your emotions. Because emotions are everything. That's how we manifest. We believe we are worthy. We believe that we can receive the things that we want. And if you feel like you're going to be rejected from those things, then you're not going to receive them. So, what is it? Oh, rejection provokes feelings of abandonment, worthlessness, unworthiness, being forsaken. It causes despair, hopelessness, fear, emotional and physical blocks, or I could say blockages. And the spiritual consequences of rejection can include fear of exposure. You could be afraid to be seen simply because if you were at home, your parents rejected the sight of you. It's like, go sit down, go to your room, go do this. That's rejection. So, yeah, that's one consequence. And another is the fear of disgrace, which causes one to instinctively try to protect yourself from rejection by isolating yourself. So if you're somebody who feel like you're misunderstood, or people don't get you, or they intentionally leave you out, you'll see your friends go out and they won't invite you. You'll see your family having get-togethers, but they won't invite you, type of thing. That can make you feel rejected by them. Now, the devil will use people around you to inflict this feeling upon you, because they know that feeling unworthy and feeling rejected is what's going to prevent you from living in the Holy Lands. It's going to prevent you from nirvana. It's going to prevent you from receiving, because you're not capable of believing, because rejection. Anyways, so the devil will use people around you to inflict this emotional violence upon you, to block you from the blessings that God has meant for you. And I call them agents of the devil. Many of you don't want to separate from these type of people. You don't realize that their rejection is for your protection, because God don't want you around them anyways, because they can't go where you're going. They are not meant to receive or partake in the blessings that he has in store for you for having to deal with these motherfuckers. You have to separate yourself. You have to be strong enough to do so. You have to be strong enough to realize that you don't have to hold on to people because you are afraid that if you go out there, other people are going to reject you. When these people are already rejecting you, what you holding on to them for? One of my favorite artists name dropped this celebrity in one of my favorite songs by him, of course. Well, it's one of my favorite songs in general. It's called Hollywood by Jay-Z. In his last verse, he mentions Janis Joplin along with Jimmy Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, and they were Hollywood personas, avatars, celebrities, if you will. They died at the age of 27. I mentioned the 27 Club on this channel before. I don't know if you caught the tea. Jay-Z name dropped the 27 Club, which is a group of celebrities who died tragically at the age of 27, unexpectedly. And I could have went my entire life without remembering that. Like, the dude from How I Met Your Mother, which I don't know his name. I've never watched that show. I don't watch it, but he's really disgusting. He had an absolutely horrific cake of Amy Winehouse's decaying corpse as a birthday cake. Was it a birthday cake? I think it was a birthday cake. It's frightening. Like, you see it in your nightmares if you look at it, so don't look it up. I don't understand why he would think that that was appropriate to do. Hollywood weird is weird, and not in a good way. It's strange. Because weird could be good. I'm weird. You know, I'm different. I'm odd. I'm weird, odd. That shit was weird, strange. Anyways, Miss Amy Winehouse obviously was part of the 27 Club, and so was Brittany Murphy, God rest her soul, and so was Heath Ledger. Those are names you might know. The other ones you might not. But, anyways, sorry I got a little testy right there. I hope somebody pay his spirit the same respect when he fucking dies. Jerk. So, Janis Joplin, God rest her soul. Wish I was around in her time because I would have been her fucking friend. But that's because I'm God body and I'm not like a pity type of person. Like, oh, I want to be friends with everybody who don't have friends. She had a dope ass soul, obviously. Like, okay. Anyways, so did I mention this already? I don't know if I mentioned that Ashley said so. Okay, but in case I didn't, we're going to just say like I didn't. I got the tea on Miss JJ from Ashley Says So, which is another YouTuber, and you can check out her channel. She has all the scandals on the Hollywood celebrities, and that were before your time. The ones that you hear about, but you like, who the hell is that? Because they're no longer living and they haven't been for a long time. But their stories have been so iconic that you still hear about them today. Ashley Says So does a great job of telling you guys about what went on back then. You feel like you was there. So, needless to say, that's why I felt like I wanted to be friends with Janis Joplin. This woman was different her whole life, and she first suffered rejection from, I believe it was her friends, her peers or whatever, because her family essentially let her be her. They let her be wild and free. They let her express herself, and it was cool and quirky. I mean, it was cool and everything for her family. Like, they loved her. They've grown to accept her quirks and things like that, and it made life, fun for them. I'm guessing it made it more entertaining. But when Miss Janis got to school, of course, the haters was hating. And they didn't like how bright Janis shined. They didn't like that she was so confident, even though they didn't think that she should be, because they didn't think that she was pretty. They didn't like how talented she was because she could sing, and she could dance, and she could act, and she wanted to be in all the clubs. And I think she played sports too. But she wanted to be everybody's friend, and she wanted to encourage everybody. And they just was dead set on rejecting her. And it's because she was something that they weren't. And that was confident. And they did everything that they could to tear that confidence down. The devil wants you to feel like nothing. If you're triggered by school shootings, then you might as well just not be alive in this day and age, unfortunately. But yeah, they treated her that bad. And so sis made it her mission. I'm going to show them. I'm going to be famous. People are going to love me. And they're going to regret the day that they rejected me. Right? So that was her driving force. Which is what you're supposed to let the haters do. You're supposed to let the haters motivate you. Never let the haters make you mad because they're the ones that's sad. You should be glad that you have them because haters ain't always to be had. Like, that means you're doing something. Dr. Seuss over here, what the fuck? But when you let the hate motivate you, you get to elevate. When you let the hate motivate, you get to elevate. Like, come the fuck through, spirits. Thank you. So that's what she did. Shit, bitch ascended all the way out of, sis ascended all the way out of bumfuck, where the fuck ever, to Hollywood, and was like rubbing shoulders and elbows with the who's who of the United States, of the country. You know what I'm saying? Of the whole damn country. And so she got into some things because she wasn't actually tending to her emotional wounds of rejection. She was using fame and recognition and money to make herself feel like, oh, these people will accept me now. But because they haven't, she's drinking, she's having excessive sex, like she's having sex with men, she's having sex with women. She's, after every show, honey got groupies on groupies on groupies. And she was pacifying that hole that she couldn't feel with love and acceptance from other motherfuckers because they just was hell-bent on not giving it to her because they knew that she needed it. And we all need it. So it's just like it's just like a hater ass nigga or bitch who, if they find you attractive or they know you attractive, they won't give you a compliment because they feel like oh, you get complimented enough, I don't want you to get a big head type of thing. It's like, you corny. Because if you not gonna gas me, we can't get nasty. Like, you're not gonna be sitting there holding back on me. Like, I'm not this shit's naive. I was gonna say the shit, but then shit's naive came out. Okay, anyways. Back to Miss Janis Joplin. So, she was pacifying her wounds with the wrong thing. It wasn't healing it. It was just a band-aid on a cut that's gashing. You know what I'm saying? If sis got shot, the bullet is still in there, and she's just walking around with the bullets in there. She's not trying to take them out. She's just pouring alcohol on it to make sure it don't get infected. Like, she's drowning her sorrows in cocaine and, like I said, dick, cooter, alcohol, pills, and attention. Whatever else she could get her hands on to fill that void, right? So sis makes it to her pinnacle. And she goes back to her high school reunion, and she's thinking that, hold on, I don't know if that looks cute or not. Nope. So sis is at her pinnacle, and guess what's about to go down? Her high school reunion. So guess who can't wait to go and show off that they hang with this people, they have this kind of house, they drive this kind of car, they date this kind of man, and, you know, pretty much like show them like, you rejected me, but I'm accepted. Like, I still made something of myself. The world accepts me. They accept my music. You know what I'm saying? And then people looked at her like, bitch, we don't care. You still fucking weird. Like, go back to Hollywood. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody asked you to come. Bye. And it was the same thing all over again, is that her star was shining too bright. Them motherfuckers was probably at jobs that they was so miserable at. They probably had wives that they didn't want to fuck no more. They probably had kids that they couldn't stand looking at. Like, they probably didn't want to go home. And this bitch is in Hollywood. She get paid to open her mouth. She's having sex with this person and that person. She's drinking all the booze. She's, you know, she's living it up. And they mad. That's confirmation. And they've been mad. They was mad at school, and they madder now. But sis was going about it the wrong way. Like, she did it the right way the first time, but the second time she was expecting their approval, and it seemed like that's what she did it all for. And when she didn't get that approval, it's when it seemed like nothing mattered to her anymore, because she just wanted to be accepted, and she didn't feel accepted. And she wanted to be accepted by the wrong people. Like, these people are losers. They were jealous, and she didn't understand that. And so she internalized it to think like, well, what's wrong with me? Why doesn't anybody love me? Why won't anybody accept me? And then she was also going through, like, the spirit of rejection was also causing her relationships, people in her relationships, to reject her. And she would just keep, like, giving her body to these people, expecting them to give her something, give her some love, some, like, more than what they gave her in the bedroom. And they would never want to give it to her. And when they did, it didn't last for long. And so that was depressing for her. So she just supplemented with people, constantly having people around her, but she still felt alone because spirit of rejection. And what ended up happening with Miss Janis is that she tried to pacify herself so much that she overdid it, and she overdosed and killed herself. I don't know if it's called accidental suicide or if it's just accidental overdose death. I don't know what it is, but she died from an overdose alone in her hotel room when sis supposedly was just having a boyfriend and a girlfriend at the same damn time, but neither one of them was with her. And like, I think she asked both of them to attend some kind of event with her, and both of them said yes, but neither one of them showed up. And it just made her feel rejected all over again. And so she went to drown her sorrows with booze and cocaine. And she, like I said, took a really powerful hit of cocaine. They said that the most powerful at the time, I think, was 5%, and the heroin that they tested in her system was 50%, like heroin. Heroin, right? I think it's heroin. Cocaine. They both white. I don't give me the line. But if you want to really know, like I said, check out Ashley Says So, because her channel is dope, though. You know. Okay. So how do you get rid of the spirit of rejection? First, you need to face the reality of who rejected you. Who were the first people or person to reject you? Now, you are born in this world with two parents. I mean, you're not technically born with two parents. One of them could have been dead before you came here, but I just be going so deep in my head with things that I stop myself all the time to over-explain shit sometimes, and it drives me bonkers, like over-explaining. Holy fuck. And it just gets me on track. So, oh, okay. When you're born, you're created by two people. So two people, at the very least, have the capacity to reject you, is what I was getting at this whole time. I'm so sorry, y'all. So two people have the capacity to reject you, and those are your parents, right? If one of them is absent, rejection. If both of them is absent, like you were adopted, you were raised by somebody else, like rejection. If your peers don't like you, your siblings don't like you, rejection. That's how those emotional wounds are created. So when you figure out where they started, and then you try to analyze, like, well, why would they have treated you that way in that moment? And how you can do that is, with me, my mother wasn't really affectionate. Well, one, she's an Aquarius, and two, she wasn't raised that way. So she didn't really know how to give affection. And I'm a very affectionate person. So I used to want to be affectionate all the time, and sometimes it used to be too much for her. So she would reject it. And so I felt rejected by that. And then I had to think about it and understand and know, like, she gave me the love that she could. You know, if she didn't love me, I wouldn't have been as taken care of as I was. It's just that she's not an affectionate person. So once I accepted that, I stopped resenting her for not giving me that affection, and I stopped feeling like I wasn't worthy of it. And she, like, oh, she didn't give it to me because I didn't deserve it. It's just like, oh, she wasn't capable. And if I think about it, none of my siblings had it like that either. Like, and they're not as affectionate as me either, so there you go. But you got to get to the root of where the emotion or where the wound came from so that you could start to heal it. Now, what's another scenario I could give? Let's say you were adopted, and then you come to find out that your parents were 14 years old and they didn't have the money or the means to take care of you. They weren't rejecting you. They actually wanted a better life for you. There you go. There's nothing to be said about with that, right? It's things like that that help you deal better with rejection. And oh, here's a fun fact. Your ops, they use gossip to cause other people to reject you. If people love you, they will slander you, throw dirt on your name, hate on you, like, why you like her? She ain't all that. Or why you like him? He's like that. Yeah, hating that shit like that. And you should let that fuel you to show them exactly who the fuck you are. Oh, I am like that. Hating ass bitch, you mad? What else? Oh, okay, you know what else I feel like that I wanted to talk about? When we feel like somebody's underrated, that's for a reason. I feel like that person is prevented from... Hollywood is a weird place. They don't call it Hollyweird for nothing, right? A lot of people sacrifice themselves and are sacrificed by other people in Hollyweird, right? So if you're God's angel, he's going to protect you no matter what. So maybe Beyonce level status isn't meant for you because the powers that be might be trying to get at that ass, and they might cause you to sell your soul to reach to that pinnacle. You get what I'm saying? And it could be a test. Like, some of them could be asked to do some questionable things to increase their star power, and they just like, no. And God's like, okay, let's see how long you're going to do that before you break, because the fame is so enticing to you. Because, and it's not just a fame because it's a simple word, but a lot of artists, their accolades mean a lot to them, like breaking records and charts and, you know, being number one for this long, or having this kind of record, being the first to do this, you know, having this many number ones on the chart type of thing. What is that thing, an EGOT? A Emmy, a Grammy, a Oscar, a Tony? Like, if you do, like, those things are hard to get in any field. And then it's a very select few celebrities, because they're very celebrated people who have an EGOT. And the only person I can think of that wants to get one is Candy Burrs, because I'm a Candy Yam fan. I love Candy Yams. And on Thanksgiving and on my TV. But yeah, last point that I wanted to make, a little word of advice. Do not date people that you've rejected in the past multiple times for whatever reason. Because that emotional wound that you inflicted upon them, trust me, is deep. Because if a person is going to keep pursuing you after you've wounded them with rejection, they must really want you. So you rejecting them hurts more than somebody else rejected them, which makes them try again until they get you to not reject them. And then maybe you do get to a point where you're not rejecting them and you give them a shot. This person been chasing me for years. Let me just give him a chance, because he must be, like, you know, worth it if he was doing all of this to get me. No. He wants to get you back is what he wants to do. He wants to return the fucking favor. He is waiting for the chance to get you where he wants you, which is emotionally invested in him in the way that he was emotionally invested in you. And he's going to pull out all the stops to do so. And then he's going to start rejecting you, little by little, at first. Oh, that's what you're going with? Oh, you still hang with so-and-so? She this, that, and the third. And you know what they say, birds of a feather flock together. Trying to get you to reject your friends, or say things that you could bring back to your friends that'll have them reject you. And him reject y'all's relationship, which is rejecting you, because if you want to be with somebody, you're going to be with somebody. So don't ever give them a chance. They're just waiting to reject you. They might even get you pregnant and then dump you. Because they might feel like it's their job to humble you. Like, who did she think she was telling me no all this time? Now look at you and love with me. Now, bitch, you about to have this baby and sit the fuck down and nobody else ain't gonna want you and me neither. Hateful, evil, demon spawns. People like this exist. Guard your purse. And by that I mean your coochie purse. Not your coin purse. Guard that too. Don't be giving niggas money. They're not your kids. But yeah, reject niggas like that. Niggas that need your money, that's who you reject. And they can go overcome their poverty mindset and their childhood wounds at the same damn time. Because that's what the fuck I had to do. Boo. Oh. Okay, I think that's it for this episode. I'm tired of sounding like Dr. Seuss. Alright, you guys, that's it for tonight's episode of Spirituality. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have been dealing with the spirit of rejection, let me know down in the comment section how it has affected you thus far. And I hope that you gained something in this video on how to get rid of it. And you can be onward and upward moving forward. Because that's the whole point of this channel. Yeah. And I hope you receive something from it, because I do receive something from you, and I can receive even more if you share this video. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button so you can attract more videos that are similar, because you never know what you can learn. And spirituality is definitely something that you need to be up on, because life is spiritual warfare. I said that in one of my other videos. I'm going to keep saying it because that's what the fuck it is. And you're going to learn about it on my channel. But like I said, there's other channels that you could benefit from. If you like this video, you'll be recommended them on this side or something like that. And yeah, hit the notification bell as well, just so you're up on game on when I post a new video with some more tea for thee. You see? I'll head on out. I hope y'all had a good one, because I sure did. I'll see you in the next one. Maybe I shouldn't peace. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all. Because this content getting on my nerves and I'm hungry.